Oh man, oh man.
I've had to start taking notes on things that I need to like cover because otherwise I forget them now. It's just too much in my
Yeah.
brain. Like take all the notes.
Oh, you're gonna have to tell me about that one you just wrote down.
Yeah, I will. That's going to be in the show for sure.
Okay.
Draven Dresses says first.
He is the first, and not the worst. Draven. He's a dedicated
Draven.
listener. I don't know. I'm trying to rap my sick flow. Don't you know? This is a show. I got nothing. It's awful. It's so awful. It's so bad.
Your beat game needs work. Your freestyling needs a little practice. Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. It's fair.
It's a good thing it's free. People will be mad if I charged for it.
Right? I know, right? Oh man. Hi guys.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Hello. I'm still sweating.
Yeah.
I'm still sweating. It's been a half an hour. I'm still sweating. It's been longer than a half an hour, and I'm still sweating.
Yeah, it's been about 40 minutes for me. Well, about 45 now that it's 8.
Yeah. Yep. Welcome to the exercise in the summer thing. At least it hasn't been. The humidity went down for a couple days, which has just been like glorious because it's been so humid. I know you live in the land of like constant humidity.
Has anybody ever walked outside and felt like they were swimming in chicken noodle soup fresh out of the microwave? That's down here. Every day. You just walk outside and it just covers you like a thick soup. Yeah. And you're trying to escape it and swim through it. You're like, oh gosh, no. Like even clear, no clouds in the sky, thick soup feeling.
That's the one, like, you know, like you don't want to go outside. You don't want to exercise in it. It's just like this feeling of this black. Yeah, the air conditioner has to run constantly just to try to have a semblance of nice air to breathe.
Yeah. Instead of having, it's like hot exhaust almost. Like, you ever walk by a car exhaust with like shorts on, you feel that like hot air blow by your leg or whatever. That's what it feels like when you try to breathe down here. It's just, ugh. Yeah, I know. Momentary Genius, she gets it. She's in Oklahoma, so
yeah,
we are very similar weather-wise.
You just live in the constant sauna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is definitely a constant sauna. Even late at night, you walk outside, and it's just like, why? You just walk like, you just feel it walking outside. It's just like muggy, gross. I mean, this time of year I do like because you get to see the lightning bugs, like the fireflies are coming out again, and that's always cool.
But when it's like that, it's muggy and then it's buggy. So there's bugs everywhere anytime you go outside. The mosquitoes are terrible. It's just
I hate bugs. I grew up right behind my house was about 30 miles of mosquito breeding rice fields. So I knew about mosquitoes growing up. Luckily, this part where I live out in the suburbs of Little Rock, there's not really any mosquitoes.
Oh, that's
thankfully.
Nice. We get them like crazy out here. You lost 6 pounds speaking outdoor cameras. Oh.
I work at a place where we can do that for you.
And you would be out there hanging the outdoor cameras.
Then I would be out there
6 pounds.
Yeah. I don't know. It's did you at least have fun doing the techie part of hanging them, or is it like it was just bad? It was just bad all around. Natural sauna, yeah.
It's true. It is true. Oh man. So yeah, I've got some big old clouds outside right now, but it's kind of moving through. I thought we were gonna get storms, but didn't seem to come this way. But yeah.
I'm trying to think what else happened in the last week. What happened?
Well, you have some really big news, and then
yes, I do have that. I'm trying to think what else. I'm looking for that. That's true. That's very true.
Okay, big yawn. Get that out of the way. Yeah, I think Draven's a lot more about the I don't want to walk outside and be in chicken soup.
I don't know. I think that might be a normal thing. He said swimming in chicken soup isn't normal.
No. No.
Chicken and stars I could see, but not chicken noodles.
Oh, chicken and stars?
Yeah.
I kind of like chicken and stars, which is really the same thing as chicken soup, chicken noodle.
Yeah. They just cut them different.
But it was stars, and that was really cool.
Yeah, and they just like dance around your palate, whereas the noodle is just like
Noodly.
big, just like a pool noodle, just keep rolling around the inside of your mouth, as opposed to the stars are just kind of going everywhere.
In your mouth.
Just twinkling around your palate.
I want to just know about how you would think about eating a pool noodle. A pool noodle. I can't speak.
Well, see, like udon noodles, from like Japanese restaurants and such. I love udon noodles. They're just big, like really big. They have a good texture, but my wife can't stand to watch me eat it because it looks like I'm eating worms or slugs or something, just because it just looks, just big, looks like a big worm. So she's like, okay, I'll go away. I'll just put my head up here while I'm trying to eat it. And I'm like, it's delicious.
We are making really good show titles. You can't use any of them because it's pre-show.
Yep. That's how we get you. As I hit the
mic
again.
You get here for the early stuff, and then you can get all the show title goodness that we can't use.
Exactly. That's why you get here early, because you get to experience it. No one else out in download and YouTube land gets to experience it like you guys do.
That's true.
So we save that. We save all the really funny stuff for the pre-show and the post-show.
You get our banter where we just, do our thing. Twinkling in your mouth. I know. I mean, that's a really good show title, but we're not using it unless somebody says it during the show. So.
And I don't know that it'll come up in conversation related to the topic.
No, I don't think so. Well, the topic's pretty heavy, so we can't get too jokey, but.
Yeah. Can't do that.
Can't get too jokey, but we can do it before we get started. Get you guys warmed up and ready for the day, for the evening. The Thursday night. All right, well, let me test this. Let's do a sounder. Oh, I should probably pull my keyboard on. Hang up. Hang on.
Hang on.
I need to get the keyboard.
You face Jaraxxus, Eladar Lord of the Burning Legion.
The Burning Legion. Your legion is burning.
Burning, burning.
Excuse me. Your legion is burning. You might want to do something about it. It's so childish, and yet it makes you giggle. So.
It is. It's like it's like the old joke, Hi, this is so and so, the electronic or with the appliance repair coalition. Is your refrigerator running? Yeah, you might go catch it. Ha ha ha! Click.
That
is your legion burning?
That little the crispy bacon video was amazing. I wish I could talk about what happened. I can't talk about it, but I am so grateful for all of the photos and the and all the videos and the nice messages and that kind of thing. It really helped. It was huge. So thank you guys. You're awesome.
Oh, very huge.
Yeah. I wish I could share what happened. I just can't because it's internal stuff that I don't want to hurt anybody else by talking about it. So, because it doesn't affect just me.
Yep.
But I could talk about some other stuff that will kind of make people go, huh? So. So, since we're all here and we're warmed up with that, let's ready check you guys. Are you ready for a show?
Ready, ready, ready!
Ready, ready, ready! Hello? Chat room? Are you there? Are you ready checked? I played the thing. There you are! Y'all were like sleeping for the poll. Y'all were sleeping for the poll. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey Barbara, did you get your did your AC come back, or electricity or AC come back on last night like you were talking about? I'm guessing, or your AC or whatever, because I know it was hot. I'm hoping it got fixed. I imagine it did because you're in the chat, but I know that was really rough yesterday.
Oof. Having no power when it's hot.
You know how raids are at this point of the expansion, yeah.
Tiber
no
speaks
flash,
truth.
no buff food. Just get in there, kill it. Just go.
Tiber speaks truth. At 11:45. Okay, ooh, man, that sucks.
Just in time to still be hot when you go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. But then you can have like the sweet feeling of air conditioner blowing in and knowing it's going to get cooler. And it's just like, oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. It's incredible. At this point of the year, like when I go to bed, like I have no blankets on me because it's just like it's cool enough to where it's kind of comfortable, but a blanket on me, it's just like no, it's too much heat.
Yeah.
Much heat,
I cannot
so it's just
sleep
like
uncovered though. I have to have something on me.
I've got the little sheet, and then we have like a duvet on top of that. The duvet is no way duvet, too heavy. I even talked to the missus about like just getting a lighter thing to use as a comforter instead. But the little sheet that we have, I'll like put it. I'll put like 1 foot underneath it, just like okay, I'm not completely uncovered. Just because it's just
I know,
way too hot.
I have to have something over my body to just like signal that it's time to sleep. So
yeah.
Even if it's just a thin sheet or something, I cannot sleep without it. So, yeah, it's just a thing. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Like psychologically, like if a bug is gonna crawl on me, at least it'll crawl on the sheet most likely.
Yeah, and not directly on me.
All right, they're ready. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Awesome, I'm ready. So let's do this thing. It's 2/7/5. Today is the 14th. Forgot to change this date. Cool. All right. Here we go. Tauren Think Tank, episode 275, records in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 275 of Tauren Think Tank, and today is Thursday, June 14th, 2018. It's 8:13 p.m. Central Time on this lovely penultimate day of the work week, Thursday night. And I am Jules. I'm Jules Scott by most people's names that they know me. And with me, as always, is the man in the chicken soup air can. I don't know. It's Mark Honan. Hi.
Hi. It's so humid here in the South. She's talking about every time you walk outside, it feels like you just jump into a giant bowl of chicken soup because it's just hot and it's soupy. It's gross. I don't like it. But I'm not moving. At least not today. So it's like I'm swimming around in chicken soup outside. If you guys were here doing the pre-show, you would know this. Mm-hmm. But since you're not, if you're not, then you didn't. But now you do, so welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard. I swung it back from what our little pre-show conversation was about. We were talking about the weather. We were talking about the heat and the humidity that happens in the South. And then it turned into an analogy that Mark Conan threw out about how going outside in Arkansas is like walking outside into chicken soup air. So
yeah, it is just It's like it's like you walk into a place that has like 17 steaming hot showers going at the same time, and you're getting bowled over by steam. It's that feeling just constantly. You
know what, dude? That
sucks.
Just
gross.
That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's really just no bones about it. It sucks. And
I mean, yeah, it was like 97 today, and it was just 97 with like feeling of steam around you all the time. It's there's a lot of us out there that it's a lot hotter, like especially out in the desert, but then at least at night it cools down kind of, maybe. I don't know. It's just the sticky humidity is just gross, but I've lived it with it for 35 years. I might as well just get used to it.
You can keep going and just keep going and keep going. So we're not here to talk about the weather. We're here to talk about us, and then we're here to talk about stuff going on with you guys. So let's start about the part that's going on with us. Marconin has some news.
Yep, we're starting the part about us. And I got promoted at work.
Yay!
Yep. I got the phone call today. My new job title is ready to go. The pay raise, everything that goes with that, the responsibilities, which is not a whole lot of extra responsibilities. I mean, I'm kind of running my own thing instead of assisting other guys at work. But that's okay because it's one step up in the ladder. You know, my goodness, I've been with the company almost 9 years, and I've worked my way up to almost triple the pay that I started at. And that's bananas. But shows persistence and ability to get more skills and such. So I'm very happy about that. My boss is happy. He's very excited. He was, kind of giving me a few compliments because I try to do the best that I can and be the most personable person on the team. Because it is, it's a service industry. I do services for people, so I have to talk to people all day. So it kind of helps to have those skills, and I'm excited. It starts next week. I was beside myself. They had said I was a shoe-in for it, but I did not want to. Jinx myself. Yeah. But my boss was like, "Yeah, you got it." I mean, he had to go through the formal thing and talk to me on the phone. He's like, "Hello, Mr. Marconin. It shows here that you applied for yada da da da. I'm excited to offer this to you." And he went down like the script and everything, but and then once he got done with the script, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. You got blah blah blah." And so it was a really good day today. Good. I'm excited about it. Very, very, very thankful for that. I've worked very hard the last year since switching divisions at work to get where I am, and yeah, it's good. If I can keep working my way up, my corporate headquarters is across the river from you, Jules, and maybe one day I might work up there. So we'll see.
I don't know if you want to.
I know. I go from walking out into chicken soup heat to walking out into white tundra hoth.
Yeah. I mean,
months on end.
It's a pretty big shift in weather.
It is.
But it would still be very cool to have you up here if it did work out that way. Because but in any case, congratulations on the promotion, and that is probably the best news that you could have gotten all week. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
I'm nervous, but there's a whole lot of people at work that I can call on for help or guidance or tips and all that. So I know I'll do fine. There'll be some adjustment, but I'm very excited about that, and my coworkers are happy for me, and we'll see how this goes. It's an exciting time for me, so I'm very happy about that.
Awesome. So when does it start?
Sunday, or technically Tuesday, since I have Sunday and Monday off. New pay period, so they can start the new bracket that way. But yeah, I'm excited and can't wait to see how it goes running my own jobs and all that stuff. I've done a little bit here or there when people need to help pick up the slack for other guys on the team, but they see good potential in me, so I'm very happy.
Yes, that's
awesome.
Happy about that. So what else is going on?
Like a lot of people out there, I have been, I just finished Before the Storm. It's, Christy Golden's book about the events that lead up to Battle for Azeroth, a little bit of filler between Legion and Battle for Azeroth. And, I did the audiobook and listened to it, in the truck at work the last couple of days. And my goodness, is it good.
Yeah.
The guy who does the narration for it is actually the guy he is the voice of Anduin Wrynn in game. So, I mean, you believe it when Anduin's talking, when he's doing the narration, because it is Anduin. And it goes into a lot of the different the events that lead up to it, and it galvanizes me against not the Horde, but their war chief, because she is awful. She is an awful, awful person, and I will not rest until she is gone from Azeroth for good, because it's just she's off. She's evil. She's evil and awful, and I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah.
But there's a nice little side plot about gnomes and goblins and stuff, and and you get to hear a lot of stuff, and it's giving me ideas of where we're going to go next, and possibly new allied races that we may have in the future, and it's just it's just cool, and I can't wait to dig in August and see what's going on next. But yeah, that's me being the lore nerd.
Awesome.
I can't wait.
Very
but
cool.
it's very, very well done. It's not a super long audio book. I did the free thing on Audible just to do that. And it's a nice, easy read in book form too. So if you haven't gotten and you want to, give it a try. Christy Golden's awesome. She's the best writer for anything Warcraft that we've got. So give it a shot if you haven't. Also, in game, we finally got Heroic Agrimar down. We actually started working on him this week, and then we got him down this week.
That's awesome.
Very, very technical fight. I'm hoping. I'm very much hoping that we can get Argus down in the next couple months. So we've got the lockout saved. So we're gonna try and steamroll through. So, hopefully my raid team and we can get there and get it done. We want everyone to get their Spellwing mounts. So yeah, that's really the biggest things for the last week. Very excited about the promotion. I love the book, and we're going after Heroic Argus on Tuesday. Or Monday, not Tuesday. Monday.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Yeah. Expansion's almost over, but we're gonna get it done. If we can get Agrimar down, we can get Argus down. But yeah, that's the biggest things for me. And while I've had big things about my role in the real world, I know Jules has something to say about roles for her.
Yeah.
As well. So Jules, why don't you tell us what you've been up to this last week?
So, as you guys know, I've been working on some new stuff, and one of them has been the new esports podcast, Esports Daily, which is kind of part of the Nerf This crew. The guys have been doing the Nerf This podcast for a couple years now, and we added that on as part of it. And I've been kind of working behind the scenes with them on the main show as well, helping with research and show notes and stuff like that. And they took me, they actually offered me a role on the team as a permanent member this last week. And so,
oh wow.
So now I am officially part of the Nerf This team, which is awesome. I'm really excited because I've been, kind of doing this already. So it comes with some funds as well, which is nice. So
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a full-time job by any means, but it comes with a little extra seed money kind of thing. So that's super cool. Very excited by that. And but I'm still out there looking for work, putting in a ton of applications every day, just looking. I mean, I'm out there looking all over the country, because it doesn't really matter at this point. I can move anywhere. So I've been doing the thing, and yes, the question has been asked before. Have you looked at Blizzard? Have you applied to Blizzard? Yes, I have. So, and that's not the first time I've done it. I've actually applied to Blizzard. I think this is probably my 4th time. So just to give you people have been talking to me and sending me messages like, you're a shoo-in. Why couldn't you, I mean, you can pretty much, no, I have tried numerous times before and never even gotten an interview. So, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but I'm going to keep trying, and, which is awesome. And interestingly enough, I don't quite know where this is coming from, but I think it's pretty awesome, is that I've been getting more inquiries from people about life coaching with them. And, I mean, you guys have heard in the past that I have done it. I still do. I have a couple of people who I coach like once a month or once every 6 weeks. And recently I've gotten some people who have messaged me and asked me about if I'm still doing it and if I would be open to taking on new clients. And the answer is absolutely yes. It's just kind of a strange thing that it's happened recently because I don't really advertise for it a lot. So I'm just going to put it out there that, I am open for it. And it's, so if you have something that you're looking to work through, you know, career change or life changes or things like that, you know, I've helped a lot of people in my time already, which has been really cool. Helping people kind of get their thoughts together about making some significant changes in their lives. And so, so just email me. My email's in my Twitter profile, or you can email the show, questions@taurenthinktank.com, and I'll email you personally on my own account. So there's that. And I wanted to share something that happened today where it just made me just like scratch my head. So a couple weeks ago, Femferocity was interviewed by Eurogamer, and there was a great article that came out. We had been sent the interview questions and we responded to them, and they were great. They took exactly what we wrote, and a lot of it was what I wrote, and quoted it directly. It was awesome. And the other day we got an inquiry from a publication in the UK called The Telegraph, and they asked if we would be willing to give some quotes or answers to questions for an article that they were writing about women in esports. And they wanted it super fast. Like, they sent us the email. They wanted it like the next day. Like, things went down, couldn't get to the article response, and we just were like, well, look, we're just not going to deal with it right now because we have other stuff that we have to deal with. And this morning I woke up and there was a tweet in the Femferocity Twitter from the person who contacted us, the article writer, tagging Femferocity, and the article was connected. The link was connected to it. And so I clicked it, and it was one of those publication sites that you have to register to read. You can't like just read like 10 free articles or something. You have to like register, at least for free, with an account to read it. And I'm like, look, they tagged us. I have a bad feeling about this. So I registered and I pulled up the article, and the article quoted me in about 4 different sentences from the article from Eurogamer, but they also misquoted me, and they took some of the words that the article writer had written and attributed it to me, that I had said it. And I read this and I was like, this is weird. Like, I didn't give you this. I didn't. And you got to understand, guys, like, this is all new to me. I don't know. I've never had to submit like quotes and stuff like that for major publications before, but it just kind of rung really strangely. And so I had connected with the article writer for Eurogamer on Twitter, and I sent her a DM on Twitter, and I said, hey, I wanted you to see this. And she looked at it, and she was like, and they didn't attribute it to the article in Eurogamer. They didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was very strangely phrased, like I had said this to this publication. And I'm like, is this cool? Like, can this be done? And as it turned out, the Telegraph did some bad stuff because they didn't attribute it to Eurogamer. They misquoted. And apparently their own editor didn't even know that this article was being written for their publication. And so I feel like I just blew a major whistle on the fact that I got misquoted. And they were like, we didn't know about any of this. What? We're so sorry. And I'm like, yeah, you should be sorry. Like,
yeah,
that's not cool. That's very not cool for you to take someone else's work, number one, attribute it to yourself. And then also like misquote me. I didn't say what the writer in Eurogamer said. Like, she used that as part of her article, but it was quoted like I said it. So I am in this position where I'm just like, you know, I don't want to make a big stink about stuff like this, but I also want to make sure that this is not being like, this is a bunch of BS. Like, I didn't say that. And I didn't say it to you. So it just, so I mean, apparently it's being worked on, but it's also in the UK. And so it was later in their evening when I got around to talking to the article writer. And so just I'm waiting for further response on it. Like,
yeah.
You know, like, please don't misquote me, and don't quote me without my permission.
Yeah, that's bad. That is bad journalistic standards right there. That is bad form, 180%.
And I'm like, you know, for me, here's me sitting here going like, I don't know, is this just normally how things are done? Like, you know, but I pretty much know from my days of being in school and having to write papers that you have to quote your source. Like, you always quote your source.
Yeah.
And not make it sound like you're the one who got the information from the recipient. Like, the way that article reads, it reads like I said it to them.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
No.
So.
It's putting words in your mouth that you didn't say. I mean, and that could lead to people thinking things about you that aren't true.
Yeah.
Misleading. You know, it's one of the biggest problems that we have in this very fast-paced online blogger journalism thing. Is like, you got to get the articles out, you got to get the clicks. No matter what it takes, the clicks precede everything.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get the clicks, you don't get the ads. You don't get the ads, you don't get the money, and you get fired.
Mm-hmm.
So people are under all this pressure to just build articles out of nothing, and do those shady things.
Well, and it was like, it's just this article when and maybe this is all smoke and mirrors, but the editor of Eurogamer talked to the editor of the Telegraph, and the editor at the Telegraph said that they were unaware that this article was even being done. That's bad. That's very bad. If you don't even know that your journalists are writing something for your publication, like, that's bad.
I mean, it's supposed to go past the editor's desk. Like, they got to sign off on it. At least I thought.
I thought so,
That's
too.
That's the way it should go anyway.
And the thing that pissed me off the most, I'm sorry, this is super picky, but they wrote it as E, lowercase e, capital S. Like, so E, capital S. It's esports, all lowercase. Always. Unless it's the start of a sentence, then the E is capitalized. So, like, no. No, you don't do it that way. So, anyway, I'm done. I'm done with my vent. I wanted to share that because this is stuff that I did not expect to be working with. Like, at all, putting together an esports organization focusing on, you know, championing win. I did, like, maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm naive in not thinking that this would happen. But this is a world that I am not familiar with at all.
Yep.
So,
you are breaking new ground. Every day.
Every day. Every day. So that's what's been going on with me. And so before we get into the show, we're well, let me put this way. The topic that we're talking about tonight is a little sensitive. So we're going to bring down the tone a little bit, get a little more serious. And if you're listening to the car with kids, you may want to hold off until you're no longer having the kids in the car. It's up to you, of course. But you've been warned. This topic is more sensitive than others. So, Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's do the think tank question.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
It's think tank time, and we have a question from a listener that goes like this. Hello, magnanimous moos. My name is Tainted Mists. I'm writing in today to get your advice on a situation that's been going on for 5.5 years. Around December of 2012, one of my best friends, let's call her Emma, committed suicide. She and I were extremely close, although we went to different schools. She and I were basically dating without the title or actual romance. Now, I was seeing someone else at the time who went to my school. I eventually discovered my feelings for Emma around November of that year, and I told her so. She returned my feelings very enthusiastically. When I told my girlfriend at the time about my feelings for Emma, she threatened suicide if I broke up with her. So, of course, being who I was, I stayed with the current girlfriend and told Emma that we had to wait. But Emma was being bullied at school. Even her friends tried to force her into a sexual encounter at a certain point. This eventually led to Emma's suicide. Now I am separated from the girl who threatened me with suicide, and I have dated other people. But I keep finding myself comparing them to Emma. Because of this, I find it hard to maintain relationships, and while I'm asked out quite a bit, I keep turning down people because my heart still belongs to her. I even visit Emma's grave more than my own father's. How do I move on from someone who I've convinced myself to this day was my soulmate? I know I'm able to hold relationships, but I don't want to. Thanks in advance. Tainted Mist, the spinny moo cow monk. So this is hard.
Yeah.
This is very hard.
Sorry. Yeah, it is.
I mean, there's so much to unpack here that I think it just, like, when I was summarizing this for how we were going to promote it for the show, like, you know, here's what we're talking about today. The core of the issue is that your feelings for Emma have never been resolved.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of feel like, you know, she's the one that got away. She's the one that you're always wondering about, always thinking about what it could have been like. But so there's that part. And then there's the other two parts of dealing with people who are severely depressed. Your past girlfriend and your Emma, who were severely depressed to the point of threatening suicide, and one of them actually carrying it out. So there's all of that that's coming into play here, and it's a lot. So, do you want to start with anything, or you've got your ponderous face on?
Just kind of rolling through everything in my mind. Like you said, there is a lot to go on here, and you know, the one that got away is not a stranger to many of us. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of us have had that one, the one that got away, or the soulmate that you'll never get the chance to be with. Most people, that person is still with us, you know, is still alive. So, you know, who's to say it could never happen again? But in Tainted Mist's case, that person will not come back. So what do you do with that, with this unresolved feelings that you've had, you know, that you haven't had a chance to fix it? That's kind of where that's the first thing that the first thing that came to my mind is, how do I resolve these feelings that I've had? I've been carrying around, you know, I've been holding the torch for this person that will never come back. And it's affecting my relationships to a degree or another. You know, how do I get past that?
Yeah, because I can't even, like, there's no word saying here, but I cannot believe that there isn't a tremendous amount of guilt here. That the decision to stay with the girlfriend you were with because she manipulated you to do so, which is hard to say out loud, but it's true. She manipulated you to stay with her at the cost of her own life. Like, you felt you were responsible for this person's living or dying if you didn't stay with them, and that if you did break up with them, that it would be your fault. Like, that is such a tremendous burden, and the guilt that you would feel about not following your heart and going to Emma, and just, you know, you feel like you broke her heart, you feel like you rejected her. Like, that's,
yeah. If I were in Tainted's place, it would eat me up inside. Like, what if I what if I had just told my girlfriend to that and just leave her and be with Emma? Would she still be alive today? Would the bullying have gotten that bad? And then that would make me just go down this rabbit hole of feeling such guilt and hate to myself to like, I could have saved her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the reason, in my mind, the way my mind would think would say, I'm the reason why she's still not alive today. And that's a horrible burden to carry on yourself for these years. And like, I don't know if Tainted feels that way, but I'm just saying that's how my mind would act, is that I would take it all the way to the extreme of like, I'm the reason she's dead.
Yeah.
Why didn't I go back and change that decision? Why didn't I make the smart decision here?
And the thing is that, so I did a podcast about a month and a half ago now with Dr. Holiday Bean and the ladies from Slaying Demons. And we talked specifically about suicide. And so this is coming as a paraphrase from Dr. Bean. And that is that, she was telling us a story about how she had an ex who did that to her, threatened to hurt and kill himself because they were not together. And she said, it is a horrific situation to be in as the person who is being held responsible for someone else's mental health. And this guy had called her up drunk and was threatening, and she got mad at him. She got angry with him. She said, you cannot put this on me. This is not my responsibility for you to live because I'm talking to you. You need to go get help, and you need to go do it right now. And she hung up on him. That sounds terribly harsh, doesn't it? But,
it does, on the face value of it.
A mental health professional is saying this. And what she meant on it was that you and all of us are never responsible for someone else's emotional health. When it comes down to it, if someone is suicidal, you can work to get them help. You can provide them with the resources that they need to get that help, but you can't make them, like, lead the horse to water. Can't make them drink it.
You can only show them the door, but they have to be the ones to go through it.
Right. And I've heard stories of people who have intervened on someone's suicide attempt and saved their life to get them the help that they need. That's different. It's That's
a different situation.
Yeah. It's not about someone saying, I'm going to kill myself if you break up with me. Because all of a sudden now, the responsibility of her mental health is on your shoulders. And that sucks.
Yeah, that's no longer a relationship. That's a hostage situation. They are holding you hostage.
Right.
Plain and simple. And that's not good. That's not fair. That's evil. Not evil. Misguided.
Well, it's ill. It's someone who is very ill.
Yeah, it's ill. Yeah, it's not evil. I'll take that back.
The thing about it is that we have emotions around people. We care about them. We want them to be okay. And it kills us internally when someone is hurting so badly that they're willing to threaten suicide to get just to hang on to what they have, to hang on to that. So you were young, Tainted Mists. You were in school. You didn't have those life experiences to be able to stand strong and say, I'm sorry, but no, I am going to break up with you. This is about, this is not a healthy relationship anymore.
Yeah.
You didn't have that. And now you're older. And now you're reflective on that, and you're stuck. You're stuck where you were 5 years ago, and you can't get out of it. Because you need therapy. You do. I mean, grieving and dealing with loss is a complicated process. And if you don't go through the actual work of going through the process and dealing with the emotions behind it, and you just muscle up or you just ignore it, shove it behind a wall, it's still there.
And from the sound of the letter, it's impeding your ability to move forward into a relationship, a long-term relationship where you're, it's a lot more concrete. The way it seems is that since you are still kind of grieving and holding the torch and comparing your current, significant other to Emma, it's not a fair comparison. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to the other person in the relationship, because you're making them try to live up to somebody who they can never live up to, because you have this picture in your mind of someone that you could have been with, that you never did. But your mind is telling you all the wonderful things that you would have been together. We would have gotten married. We would have moved here. We would have lived in this big house, had this number of kids. We would have had great careers. You build this perfect world and this perfect relationship that could have been. I've been there. Yeah. I have, I come from a viewpoint that there's not just particularly one soulmate for you. There may be many different people that you can have that sort of connection with. And that's kind of just my own personal philosophy. It's not just, there's not exactly one person for everybody, because just the math doesn't work out. It just doesn't work out that way. But there's several people along your journey that you can connect with in a very concrete, soulful manner. And you've got that connection. From the moment you talk to them, you've got that connection. Mm-hmm. So having the one that got away doesn't mean it's the only one that could get away. And you're doing a disservice to your current relationships or your previous relationships after the ones you talked about by comparing them to someone that it's not a fair comparison.
Well, right now he doesn't have anybody because he can't.
Yeah, I know you don't have anybody. Yeah, but I was just talking about the other ones before that.
Right. And being in a situation right now where you're stuck and living in the past, visiting her grave more than you've visited your father's grave, you're still grieving, and you have so many unresolved feelings that need to be addressed so that you can move on with your life. Because here's the horrible, awful truth, is that Emma is gone and she's not coming back. So you could live the rest of your life mourning for her and thinking about what could have been, or you can take the life that you have and turn it into something productive, happy, good, joyful. You can have joy again. You can have love again. You just have to figure it out. And I'm in somewhat of a similar situation, going through therapy myself, trying to deal with the fact that I don't know how to trust men right now in terms of dating. I went through a horrible time with a divorce. Horrible. It was soul crushing. And so it's like even the thought of dating made my stomach sick. And it was just like, so I've been working on it. I've been working on the process of it. I've been working on the fears of it. I've been working on the feelings that have never really been resolved around it. I went on a date last Friday. It didn't go anywhere, but I went on a date. I mean, that was big. That was good. I mean, I actually met somebody, and I went on, had a nice time. It wasn't a connection, but that's huge. It's been 2.5 years, and, it does get there. But you have to put in the work, and you have to want to put in the work so that that, life can be better, and you learn from what happened. Because you'll never want to be in another situation again where your girlfriend says to you, if you break up with me, I will kill myself. You never want to be there again. Mm-hmm. And you've been there already, so you need to resolve what happened, the guilt that you feel, the remorse that you have for not choosing Emma. And therapy will help with all of that. All of it.
Yeah.
It does.
That way you can really unload, and the therapist can help you unpack all the individual parts about this and help you work through it. It's a lot more than we can do in an hour. Yeah. That's why we always recommend it. To go to therapy, because you can take the time and spend the time and really unpack everything. And I definitely feel for you so much, because it's a heartbreaking situation to go through,
Yeah.
and it's hard to move on. It is so hard to move on. I can become very attached. In the past, I was very attached to the people that I would date, and having someone break up with me was soul crushing. Like, my world ended. Like, I had no idea what to do. But then, like 3 months later, I met the girl who would become my wife. So, you
just never know. You don't. But if if you are stuck where you are, if you are never moving into a forward space, trying to progress with your life, it's just going to continue to eat away at you. But you wrote this letter and you sent it to the show, and it's been on your mind. You are aware of the impact that it's having on your future. Your future, you want to find a partner, you want to find someone who you can love and who loves you back, but you don't really know at this point how to do that. No,
and even though you said you just don't want to, that's fine too, but you're still carrying it all on your back. It's still affecting you, whether you want a relationship or not right now. You still need to get it addressed.
Yeah, because I was the same way. I would sit there and say, I don't want to date. I have no interest in dating. I don't want to deal with it. And eventually, it kind of comes back around again. Like, you start to think about it a little bit more. But then there's the, I can't, there's always an excuse or a thing. There's a feeling like, oh, I don't want to go through this again. I don't want to go through the hurt again. I don't want to go through the challenge again. It's too much work. It's too hard. And then find an excuse to not do it. But that function starts to spin up a little bit more and more as you find yourself wanting more. You want more. You want more from life than just being alone. And like I said, writing this letter was like the thing that said, I want more than this.
Mm-hmm. And, I'm pretty sure that she would want more for you as well. I mean, you guys were potentially going to, date and be in love. And, I hate to say it, but I know she wouldn't want that for you.
And you have to remember that she was also very, very, very sick. And I'm not saying like sick puppy. I'm saying she was ill. She had an illness. She had, she was being tortured in her mind enough to get to the point where she was ready and willing to end it. And that is hard. That is so, so hard to understand if you've never been in that place. And it is something that you have to understand, at least somewhat, to resolve it. And forgive her. Like, you have to learn how to forgive her for leaving.
In that moment when it gets that dark, you don't think about anybody. You don't think about your parents, your loved ones, your friends. Like, you just want the hurting to stop. You want the feelings to stop for you. It sounds selfish, because it kind of is, because you're not worried about anybody else. You just want whatever is going wrong with you to end. However you can, and the only way that you have control over it is to do something that drastic. In your mind, that's the only way that you can see getting out. And that's why, she was, when it happened, she wasn't thinking about her loved ones. Probably. I mean, I don't know for sure. But it's just, in that moment, you're very focused on yourself and stopping the pain, stopping the hurt, stopping whatever's going on with you.
Once you have now been in a position where you have reached out, and you've reached out to us, it gets a little easier to take the next step and the next step, because that initial, it's like the biggest hurdle that you have is that first one. To really just say, yes, I have a problem, and yes, I want to do something about it. I know that's how it felt for me to get a like a letter out to a therapist and say, I would like to work with you, and then to set up that appointment, and then to, you know, make sure that it was happening. Like, it's going to happen. And now I look forward to my therapy sessions because it just gives me an outlet to really just to understand. I mean, there's stuff that comes up in my brain that I don't even know is there half the time. Like, it's just not, it's not something that's top of mind, but then something happened and I got triggered into something that I was feeling that I didn't know I was feeling. And then it was just, it's been a really awesome experience, and it's been hard, like really hard.
Yeah.
I basically bawl like a baby on every session I have, but it needs to be done. It needs to be done. And, you know, because of that, I got myself out to California to go see Heroes of the Dorm on my own. I have been doing some of the coolest new things that I haven't really tried doing before. I went to, you know, dinner on my own. I went on a date. I mean, like, all of this is because I went to therapy and I really talked about what was in my brain. And so I can't tell you enough how important it is for your own mental health to make sure that you get through these emotions and understand them. Like, seriously, it is so important. Can't think of anything more important at this day and age, especially now when we are seeing so many high-profile figures committing suicide, of people that you thought had it all. They had everything together.
Yeah.
They had some of the best lives that people would, you know, do anything to have. And mental illness does not discriminate.
No, it doesn't.
So I really, really hope that you get some help, Tainted Mists. It's not a stigma. It's not that you're weak. It's just that you need some help. You've been through a lot.
Yeah, it is definitely not a sign of weakness to want to work through things. I mean, when things are worn down, when things are broken, when things are worn down, it is not a sign of weakness to have them fixed.
Exactly.
You know, my air conditioner messed up in my car. It blew out completely, $1,400 worth, and I have to get it fixed. It's not a sign of weakness, because it needs to get fixed. Because I don't know if I told you, but it's like walking into chicken soup when it's outside in Arkansas. So I need it fixed. To make my life better, I need that fixed in my life. And it's not a sign of weakness for me to walk around sweating all day in my car. So I need it fixed. That is strength. Wanting to get things fixed. Wanting to bring your life and get things fixed in your life to improve your situation. Just like me not sweating in my car, you improving your life. Things need to get fixed. I'm glad you bared with me on that one, Jules, because it kind of went wavy around the way. But I hope it makes sense for you, Tainted Mists. And when it comes to friends and close people that commit suicide, one of the things that have helped me through it, because I've had friends that, you know, I had a friend that walked out in front of a semi a few years back, close friend that I had in band. The way that I kind of get through that is to remember not letting that be their legacy, not letting that be the thing that people remember them for, because that's an instant in someone's life, and an instant can turn around someone's life, turn it towards good or bad. But in that, don't let that instant of illness, weakness, whatever you call it, where they end their life, don't let that be their legacy to you. Remember Emma for her smile, for her laugh, for all the little things that you cared so deeply about her. Let that be the thing that you focus on, not her passing. Not, fill those memories. Remember the times that you had with her that were good, that were happy, that, the way that you would smile when she caught your eye, all those little things. Dig into those memories and remember her for that. But don't chain yourself to them. Make them part of you, not all of you, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly. Because it is so difficult to try to, because you're stuck in the what ifs, you're stuck in a picture of who she was in your brain. And that's also tied to the fact that she's gone. And
Mm-hmm.
there's grieving that has to happen, and there's things that you have to do to let somebody go. You'll never forget them. You'll always carry their memory, but it's unhealthy to be in a spot where you just feel like you cannot move forward. And that is unresolved grief. That is it right there. Like, you have to resolve that in order to move forward. And it is something that happens to a lot of people because nobody teaches us how to grieve. And there's no formulaic way. Like, there are stages of grief that have been identified in psychological journals, but they don't follow a certain path all the time. They don't. I still have moments where, I'm still grieving the loss of my kitty sometimes where, I'm okay for 90% of the time. And then a picture shows up on my phone somewhere and I just, it's like I'm back to square zero. It's like back to the moment where I lost him. And it's so hard. Like, you think about it and it's just like, why am I not okay? Why am I not okay with this? Well, you are. Like, you will be. And it does get better once you've worked out and worked through the emotions of it. It's so important. So
absolutely.
Those are the things that I would give you to work on. If you don't have a therapist, if you don't have what am I trying to say? Insurance that covers therapy, but you have a doctor that you can talk to get some advice on a therapist. And if not, then there's resources all over the internet too to help you find a therapist in your area. Remembering, again, I would say this every single time we recommend therapy, that not all therapists are one size fits all. And you may not find somebody right off the bat that clicks with you as an individual.
Yeah, absolutely. That. Yeah. So they're people too. So you may not gel with one therapist. What do they say about doctors? Go get a second opinion. There you go. Yeah. Second opinion works with therapy too, because therapists aren't all made equal. They don't have the same outlook on everything and the way they approach their clients. If your therapist isn't helping, you need a different therapist. Yeah, just like 2020 site said in the chat.
Yeah, because not every therapist is going to have the same focus on what you need. And I have spoken to therapists in the past that just don't get me as a person. And that's fundamental. Like, they have to understand you at your core to be able to help you understand your feelings about things. So if you are feeling like you can't connect with this person or they're just not understanding you, go find somebody else. Even if you feel like you're starting all over again, I guarantee you it is better than sitting with a therapist that you do not connect with. Like, you can't talk to them or you feel like this is just a waste of your time. So, I mean, I say this every single time we talk about it, but I think it's like the most important thing to say because someone here is going to listen to this and hear it for the first time. So that's why, for those of you who bear with us every week and have listened to 275 episodes of us saying this, you are the real MVPs. So I'm really, really glad that you wrote to us, Tainted Mists.
Yes.
I really hope that you consider getting some professional support with your emotions, your grief, and to help you move forward, because that is what you have to do. For sure.
I know you want to, because you at least put forth the effort to email us and to have us talk about it. So we know you at least have the effort to try. And that's good.
We wish you so much luck. We want to know how things are going. Please send us an update and let us know how things are going. One of the coolest things about what we've done, like tomorrow night, I get to go see Navarre Impossible, and Steph, who live here in my city. And when Navarre started first writing us 5 years ago, his life was in such a different place than it is now. And I can now go out to dinner with him and see him smile and see him be happy, where life was pretty much at the edge for him. So when I say that it's a very powerful thing to ask for help and to get it, he's a living example of that. And
absolutely,
like every time I get to spend some time with him and with Steph, I just kind of, I smile because I know the impact that asking for help can bring.
And I'm jealous you get to hang out with them so much.
I know. Well, you just, like I said, like you said, get a job at the corporate offices for your company here. Yeah. And then you get to see them all.
Yeah, exactly.
So good luck. And again, send us an update. And listeners, we are in need of questions from you as well. This is a time where we are in need of more questions. So if you have anything that's kind of ticking on your brain or things that you've been talking about it in your head and you need to put it down on paper, and because I can't even tell you how many people have sent me messages over the years that said, I've been meaning to send you a letter, but I haven't done it.
Do it.
Yeah. Like right now.
Now.
Put it, or give yourself a checklist, like a note, a to-do item on your phone or on your computer, and
set
just
an
put
alarm.
it down that says, write that note, write that letter to Triple T and send it, because it's the start of fixing that problem. First step. Right there. We've been doing this for 6 years. We might know what we're doing, at least a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I'll admit to that.
At least a little bit. So that is, unless, do you have anything else for this letter?
No, I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to. Yeah, just Tainted Mists, I feel for you so much, and I know you want to work through it, and I know you can. So we're waiting to hear back from you, and good luck to you.
Good luck to you. And that, Marconin, is a show.
It
However,
is.
we do have a /moo that I forgot about in the Discord.
Yes, we do.
We do have one. And we have one. It's from a certain Draven Pool, Dresden. It says, /moo to my raid team HVFD for helping me get someone the heroic bird. And that was Ann Stickney who did that. He did that for her. It was awesome. And Draven says, Draven, that guy's the worst. So thank you for that /moo. Any /moos for you? I put you on the spot, of course, but we haven't done them in a while. So,
let's see. Well, gosh, I can't think of any. Do you have any /moos?
I don't think so. I'll give a quick /moo. I'll give 2 /moos. I'll give a /moo to my colleagues and team at Femferocity, because it's been a wild ride. We had our first tournament on Monday, and we had a win in our first match, which was awesome. And so things are coming along. It's just been a wild ride. And also /moo to Brian and Seven from Nerf This for believing in me and taking me on. So new adventures. So there you go.
That is awesome. I guess I'll just /moo my coworkers for believing in me and for being very supportive in me over the last 13 months at work, and teaching me everything I needed to know and how to perform as well as I could to get that promotion. So /moo to them. They're not listening, but I'll just thank them tomorrow. Absolutely. And it looks like we've got one in the chat room from our good buddy Tiber. Tiber says, /moo to the Perky Pugs for their 24-hour Spellwing marathon last week. And thanks to them for including me in one. Congrats on the Spellwing mount, Tiber. That's awesome.
Great.
Another for the stables.
A pretty bird. It's a pretty bird.
So that's awesome. On the Battle for Azeroth beta, they've got character copy enabled. I copied Marconin over there, and apparently, according to the game, for now, I have 396 mounts. The new way they're counting. So I'm 4 away at the moment from the 400 mount achievement mount, and I already had the 350. So whenever Battle for Azeroth hits, I'll have the cool 350 mount. I'll be very close to the 400. So yeah, I can't wait.
That's awesome. That is very cool. Mr. Achievement has reached his achievements. Okay, so that, Marconin, is a show.
It is. I do believe 275.
275 episodes. Woo. We are cruising our way to the big 300. Just 25 more episodes. My goodness. 25 more
gracious.
Weeks. So, anything happening within the next 7 days that's going on in your world?
Actually, in 6 days, we are going to have this month's Patreon event next Wednesday, the 20th. Patrons, if you would like some info on that, just go to the Discord. You can find that. Sure, we'll get an email out to you as well if we haven't already. So, yeah, we'll have that next Wednesday. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
It is always a good time. We may play Overwatch, we may play Heroes, or we may do some Jackbox games. It really kind of just depends on who's around and who wants to play. So.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun time.
Cool.
But yeah, that's about it for that. I'm going to be home alone with the dog this weekend, so it's going to be like a big bachelor weekend that consists of me ordering Chinese food and playing video games. So real big party are there.
Lots of udon noodles.
Yes. Oh, I could get that instead.
You like udon noodles. I can eat them, and my wife doesn't get grossed out by them.
Yes. Go pig out on that. Yes. Sounds good.
I'm going to be up like really early on Saturday and really early on Sunday because the mid-season brawl like semifinals are happening, quarterfinals, semifinals, and they start at 3:00 in the morning my time.
Oh my goodness!
Because they're in Sweden, gracious. And of course the NA team that I want to watch starts playing at 3 a.m. on Saturday. So yeah, of course it's gonna be a beautiful time. But I'm excited. I've been watching so much mid-season brawl group stages. It's been amazing. Some really, really good games. Can't wait to report on it. And also, if you haven't listened to the latest episode of Nerf This, I did a lengthy segment with Brian and Seven about the state of HGC and things that need to improve to make the league not feel so little brother to big brother Overwatch League. So,
yeah.
If you want to check that out, please go to nerfthis.gg. It's the latest episode on there. I'm in the middle segment. You can listen to that if you are interested in hearing my thoughts about HGC, Heroes Global Championship League. So there you go. And of course, Esports Daily. I am on at least 2 days a week, if not more, depending on what the guys are doing. So you can hear me talk about the latest esports headlines. If you go out on the web and you search Esports Daily, you will find it, and it's pretty cool. Otherwise, it's also on your Amazon Echo device. You just add it as a flash briefing skill, and then you tell that lovely lady inside the Echo to play your flash briefings, and then she will. And there's my voice. So,
yep.
There it goes.
She sounds a lot like Jules, this magical device.
It's very cool.
Whose name starts with an A that I can't say because half of y'all will have her talking to you.
Exactly. Well, and I don't say it because she's actually in this room with me. Well, not she, but it. So it will just be like, I did not understand that request. So with that, we're going to bring this show to a close like we always do, just like this. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Convert to Raid podcast network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to converttoraid.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can also find us outside of the show on our website, and that's at taurenthinktank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too. And if you're like me and it's nice and humid outside, and as soon as you walk outside, you're all hot and sweaty, and you got a sweaty old smelly t-shirt, and you want a brand new one to wear that's nice and dry, feels good, smells good, then you need to go to taurenthinktank.com/store, get a nice new Tauren Think Tank t-shirt. Because
it is true.
I know I need one. I
do too. Thank you for all who support our show via Patreon. If you would like to help out Triple T and be a premier member of the Patron Game Night, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. And if you want to meet other members of the Triple T community, hang out with them, talk with them, ask for their advice, get some support, you can go to tinyurl.com/TTTchat2. Takes you right to Discord, and then you're signed up.
It's easy. Do it. Do it now. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Tauren Think Tank. You can also find us on Twitter Twitter for the show at Tauren Think Tank. You can find Jules at Jules RPG, and you can find myself at Marconin Wow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central. You can find us live. You can hear the pre-show and the post-show and the goofiness that we banter about at twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank. It's special. Like, you guys don't get to hear that on the recorded stuff. It just happens on the pre-show, post-show, goes up to YouTube. So you hear a lot of weird jokes and stuff between us.
Weird jokes, weird voices, weird situations.
Yeah, and we talk about, like, we don't talk about, like, well, we talk about everything. So, anyway, come watch it. It's fun. You get to see our lovely faces, and it's a good thing. Marconin.
Jules.
Have a wonderful rest of your week, and stay dry, will you?
I will do my best, and you have a wonderful week as well.
Thank you. For myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room, until next time, /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
Really?
Really? Mm-hmm. I still need to edit that.
I know you do. One of these days, excuse me. So the software that I used so what I do normally right now is I take the video from the Twitch stream. Actually, I take it from XSplit and it records locally. And I strip the audio out of that and I use that for the podcast. And the software that I'd been using for that had been, like, for probably the last year, saying it needed to be upgraded, like, you gotta patch this, whatever. And I kept saying no. And it was free. It was free software at the time and everything like that. And so I was like, I've been letting this go for a year. I'm wondering if it's got, like, these bad bugs or something like that. So I patch it. And it goes from free to premium.
Oh, no.
So I had to pay for it. Like, damn it. Because I couldn't get it back. I couldn't revert it. So I had to pay for it. And it sucks. The stuff I have to do, I had to pay for another XSplit license this year. It's like, oh my gosh. The things that cost me to produce this show, icky. So thank you, patrons, because you help with those costs.
Yes, thank you.
You do.
Oh, man, Draven's got his wall. Let's see. Swimming in chicken noodles, or chicken soup air can thing.
I don't even know what I said in the beginning.
That's what it was. That
chicken soup air can thing.
Air can thing.
Udon noodles.
It's in the grapes. I was eating grapes before we went live today.
You were?
Yeah.
I will say not a sign of weakness.
Yeah. That sounds good.
All right.
That sounds good.
Perfect. Thanks, Draven. You're the best.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you, Easter Bunny. Bark, bark.
Thank you for joining us tonight, folks.
Yeah, no kidding. We're both tired. We both worked out right before the show, so we're both like,
Yeah.
I usually...
It's funny. I did more DDR today for like an hour and a half. It was wonderful.
You're like, I'm done. I'm sweating. Do you have, like, other people wanting to get on the DDR machine while you're there?
Not really. When I went on Tuesday, there were a couple of other, couple younger gals that were there, and I was taking a break. I was standing there was hardly anybody else in the arcade. I was just standing on the pad, And they said, are you going to play another game? I was like, oh no, you guys go ahead. So I just got off so that they could play, because I'd rather them play and learn to like the game and then keep them playing than to just, not.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta focus on the next generation that play it.
Yeah, because then they continue making those cabinets.
Yeah.
And
it's an older version that they have, and the thing is there's a whole list of unlockable songs that you have to put in a code for, and so I want to talk to whoever's the manager and be like, hey, can you put in this code, it'll unlock all the songs, here's all the proof, I'm not trying to brick your game.
Mm-hmm.
I just really want to play all the extra songs that I can unlock in there, please.
Yes, please.
And
yes,
maybe
please.
he'll let. There's a whole bunch of songs, please.
Yes, please. All right, I'm gonna go because I'm tired.
Yeah, and I've got to eat something more substantial than grapes.
Agreed. Chat room, you guys are fantastic. Thank you for being with us tonight, and we'll be
always
back
wonderful.
Next week. Again, if you're sitting there and you had like things thinking about ticking in your head, I got to send a letter to Triple T. Now's your time.
Yep. Even if it's not something specific, it's just a general topic.
Yeah, general topics are always good. Like, we want to talk about this thing.
A peanut is neither a pea nor a nut. Discuss.
No.
A little more substance, please.
Please. Thank you. All right. Slash moo, everybody. Have a great night.
Slash moo, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.